Welcome everyone! In today's video, we're going to learn how to use USDA's ServiceNow portal for submitting suggestions for Plant Protection Act 7721 funding as implemented by the Plant Pest and Disease Management and Disaster Prevention Program. Before we get started, here are a couple of key things to remember. The USDA ServiceNow portal requires that all users have an e-authentication account to access the site and enter suggestions. If you don't have an e-authentication account, please see the ServiceNow Plant Protection Act 7721, hereafter referred to as PPA 7721, Suggestion Submission Guidance for instructions on setting up an account. Additional details about select fields in the suggestion form can also be found in the guidance document, which is available on the APHIS PPA 7721 funding page. This video assumes that all suggestors have reviewed the various goal area objectives and strategies in the fiscal year 2024 PPA 7721 implementation plan before initiating the suggestion submission process. With that said, let's get started. If present, first accept the terms and conditions after landing on the ServiceNow PPA 7721 suggestion submission page. This page contains several notable features, including the icons for submitting a suggestion, retracting a suggestion, and getting help. Note that you can use the Get Help icon to send an email directly to the PPA 7721 team for technical assistance with ServiceNow. To start the process of entering a suggestion, click on the icon for Submit a new PPA 7721 suggestion. This will direct you to a screen containing the suggestion form to be used for all goal areas. As we scroll down to the first couple of fields, you'll notice that some fields, indicated with a gray asterisk, will be auto-populated with information from a user's e-authentication account. These fields can be modified except for the name field. Use the Get Help icon previously discussed to request any modification to this field. If you'll be submitting a suggestion on behalf of another person, click in the box for Submitting on behalf of another and enter information into the fields with the red asterisks. Once completed, move on to the next field, starting with cooperator organization. In this example, I'll be entering USDA APHIS. The next field is the cooperator type. Notice that this is a drop-down menu with several options. If a suggester chooses academia as their cooperator type, 4 additional fields will open with yes/no questions to be answered. Refer to the PPA 7721 Suggestion Submission Guidance, hereafter referred to as the guidance document, for details related to answering these fields. Following the fields for general information, we come to the field for the title. When giving your suggestion a title, make sure the title is succinct. In this example, I'll be using "This is only a test" as my title. Next, we'll select a goal area. In this example, I'll be using Goal 1S Survey. Once the goal area is selected, you'll notice that the goal's specific objectives will appear along with yes/no questions for each strategy. Select an appropriate response for each strategy for your suggestion. In this case, I will answer yes to strategy 1 and no to strategy 2. However, if I had selected no for both strategy 1 and strategy 2, note that I receive an error indicating that I should review the goal objectives and strategies found in the PPA 7721 implementation plan and identify which goal may be most appropriate to my suggestion. Following the strategy-related questions for Goal 1 survey is the request to upload the Goal 1 survey template. The survey template can be found on the APHIS PPA 7721 funding page and is also linked in the guidance document. Here, I'm going to go ahead and upload the template from my computer's desktop. Note, make sure you see the correct name of the file you want uploaded after completing the action. So as you can see, I've here selected the fiscal year 2024 Goal 1S template. If you uploaded the wrong file, make sure that you delete the existing file before uploading a new file. In this case, I'll go ahead and press the delete button to show the action. Doing so will prevent unnecessary files from transferring to the ServiceNow PPA 7721 review site. Also note, the Upload the Goal 1 Survey Template button is not available for goal areas 1A and 2 through 6. So before looking at the rest of the fields in the suggestion form, we're going to switch to another goal area. For this example, we'll choose Goal Area 4. Now that we switched to Goal Area 4, we're going to look at the field entitled Project Pest or Plant Disease. Here, submitters can select from a drop-down list of specific pests or choose Other Pests. Multiple selections can be made from the list. For this example, I'm going to use coconut rhinoceros beetle and mollusks. If choosing Other Pests, you'd want to do this last to avoid losing selected entries, if any, from the drop-down list. A new field will open entitled Other Project Pest or Plant Disease, where the submitter can type in the name of the pest or category/group of pests pertaining to the suggestion. For this example, we'll use citrus viroids. The following field is a drop-down list for PPA 7721 attributes. These attributes do not confer an advantage or disadvantage to a suggestion and are used to help with the assignment of suggestions during the review process. In this list, you can see that we have attributes such as affiliation with tribal nations, citrus component, climate change, etc. Details about the attributes can be found in the guidance document. Click on the Attributes Not Applicable checkbox if the attributes do not apply to your suggestion. Following the field for PPA 7721 attributes is a yes/no question about whether the suggestion contains an information technology component, then a question with a drop-down menu for the selection of which state or territory will the majority of the proposed work be primarily conducted. In this case, I'm going to select No for the IT component, and from the drop-down list, I'll be checking Hawaii. If the project is a national project, for instance, the National Honeybee Survey, then click on the National Project checkbox. Following these two questions is the budget field. The dollar amount for the entire suggestion, in other words, the total sum of the project, including all cooperators, must be entered into this field. For this example, I'll be using $125,000 as the total budget. This is followed by an upload button for the completed budget template. If you are submitting to Goal 1S, this field won't be present since the breakdown for the budget is included in the Goal 1 survey template. So here, I'll upload the completed budget template from my desktop. And then make sure that the correct file has been uploaded. Next is a yes/no question asking if there are additional cooperators who will be receiving funding as part of the suggestion. If the answer is yes, another field will open. Here, you'll be asked to add information for each cooperator. Note that the sum of the cooperator budgets entered must be equal to the total sum entered for the suggestion. Otherwise, the submitter will get notified with a dialog box at the top of the screen that the total needs to match before being able to complete the submission process. In this case, since I'm not filling out the information, what this is referring to is making sure that the total budget here, listed for cooperators, equals the budget that we've entered here in this field. Now I'm going to change this response back to no and move on to the next field. The next field in the form asks if the suggestion was provided PPA 7721 funding in previous years. This yes/no question applies to suggestions seeking multi-year funding or those suggestions, such as some surveys, that are similar from year to year. If a suggester answers yes to this question, a new field will appear asking them to upload a narrative report explaining the progress of the prior project to date. In this case, I'm going to answer yes here, and I'm going to upload an accomplishment or progress report. Suggesters can upload mid-year or final accomplishment reports or other status reports as appropriate. This question is followed by a drop-down list where the suggester must select all years for which the project has received funding. One year must be selected at a time, although multiple years can be entered and accepted as the final answer to this question. If a suggester selects 2022 or 2023 from the drop-down list, a new field will appear asking that the suggestion number from the most recent fiscal year, either 2022 or 2023, be entered into this field. Suggestion numbers per year are available as two separate PDFs and found on the APHIS PPA 7721 funding page. These numbers should be obtained before starting the suggestion process. For ease of this example, I'm going to remove 2023 so that we're only looking for a suggestion number for 2022 in this drop-down list. Again, suggestion numbers for 2022 or 2023 are found on the APHIS PPA 7721 funding page. Now we'll move on. In the last several fields, the suggester will provide their information in rich text boxes like the one seen here. These boxes share several features used in common text editing software, such as adding bullets, changing font and text formatting, and inserting links. It is highly recommended that suggesters have responses pre-written in another document and then copy and paste them into these boxes. Previously formatted text will carry over into the rich text boxes. Let me demonstrate. As you can see here, the formatting has not changed, and you can see that all bullets and indentations are available. Now, once the information for the abstract, purpose, technical approach, past performance and/or best practices or innovations, and milestones, as appropriate for the specific goal area, is completed, the suggester should review the attachments at the bottom of the page. But before we get there, I want to note that you'll be able to see if you have missing information right over here on the side of the screen under the Submit button. In this case, I've left the field for purpose empty. Now I have no missing fields. And again, as a final check, I would run down to the bottom of the page and look to see if there is any information that A is attached here at the bottom, or if there's any information that I do want to attach, such as a relevant scientific article that's been recently published. As long as it's relevant to my suggestion, I can add it by using this add attachments icon. Now, after reviewing all attachments, check that there aren't any red boxes, as previously mentioned, displayed under the Submit button. Any unanswered fields will be indicated here and need to be addressed before hitting Submit. When the suggester has completed their suggestion and is ready to finalize their submission, press the Submit button. Here you'll see that we've gone to a new page, and this page indicates that our submission has been successfully received by ServiceNow. This concludes our video for submitting a new PPA 7721 suggestion in ServiceNow. We hope that if you have any questions, you'll reach out to the PPA 7721 team at ppa-projects@usda.gov. For additional information or other resources regarding the PPA 7721 suggestion process, please visit the PPDM DPP webpage.